Welcome to B-Sides. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, not bad. It's for those watching at home and abroad or on the recordings. It is the after lunch. We're in that slumber mode, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm Dana Torgerson, VP of Product Marketing for Armor Code. But today I have the privilege of being the MC for this theater for these different talks, especially this particular talk here, which is, I think, pretty apropos. We were just leaving the last podcast. This one is on future-proof your career, evolving in the age of AI. I've got Jay Sarwate right here. I'd like to hand it over to Jay, and if you have any questions, please use the Slido app. You can go to BSidesSF.org, QN as in Nancy, A as in Apple, QNA. And that'll open up the app for you. You'll be able to then log in to Theater 13 and ask any questions or queue them up, and Jay will be able to take them. Right now, Jay, take it away and introduce the panel, and thank you folks for attending.
All right, thank you, Dana. So I have some exciting news. I just got my driver's license, and I thought it'd be fitting to start with some car analogy. When the Ford Model T first rolled off the assembly line in 1908, it wasn't just a car. It was the beginning of a revolution. Taylorism and scientific management turned factory work into something faster, more efficient, and more optimized. The world shifted, jobs changed, and entire industries had to learn how to adapt. Today, we're standing at the edge of a new revolution, AI. Like the assembly line, it's transforming the way we work, especially in cybersecurity. Threats move faster, defenses have to be smarter, and the human-machine dynamic is being redefined. My name is Jay. I'm a junior at Prospect High School, and to help us make sense of this transformation, we brought together these three wonderful panelists and leaders who are shaping the future of AI and cybersecurity. Prutha, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Prutha Parikh. I lead security at Cohere. I have a very interesting sort of introduction. I moved here about 20 years back, not sure what to specialize my career in. Robotics and AI was my first option, cybersecurity the other. Almost a coin toss moment. I picked cybersecurity, ended up spending the next 15 years building cybersecurity products, and then here I am at the intersection of AI, now working on AI security. So as they say, life comes a full circle, and excited to be on the panel. Alok.
Okay. Thanks, Prutha. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this session after lunch. I know it's not easy. My name is Alok Tongaonkar. For the past couple of years, I've been leading the Gen AI initiatives for cloud security at Palo Alto Networks. Prior to that, I had been leading data science teams, building cybersecurity analytics for companies like Boeing, Symantec, and Redlock, which was a startup that was acquired by Palo Alto Networks. And like Prutha, I have always been interested in AI, machine learning, and security. Fortunately, I got a chance to combine my interests and work in a field where I'm applying AI and machine learning to cybersecurity. I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks, Alok. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ketan Nilangekar. I am the co-founder and CEO of ThreatWorks. We're trying to build a platform for universal scanning, the one that can replace probably all the scanners that we have today. But apart from that, we are hard to miss the changes that the AI revolution is bringing to the security landscape. And so part of my job today is also to sort of shepherd the product and our customers into this brave new world of AI. So that's what I do, and I'm happy to be here today and share my experiences on this panel. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you guys. So to start off, let's take a broad view of AI. So AI is used as a catch-all term. It's made of many different technologies. Can you walk us through the main categories of AI and how they differ in application in cybersecurity? Specifically, how has the introduction of AI changed your day-to-day work? Going forward, do you think that the nature of cybersecurity work will evolve?
Yeah, I can go first for this one. So generally, we can think about the use of AI in cybersecurity as with everything else as pre-ChatGPT and post-ChatGPT, right? And prior to ChatGPT being released, a lot of focus on using AI was on using machine learning techniques for anomaly detection or classification within cybersecurity. Post ChatGPT, now there is a lot of focus on using generative AI for a lot of different use cases, for automating workflows, for getting understanding about the explanation about what is happening, security issues, and also for exploring data using APIs and the domain-specific query languages that are present in a lot of the security applications.
All right. So I'd like to add a few things here too. So two things. One, from a product perspective, I think there is an event, sort of inevitability to the adoption of AI while building the product as well as in the product as features. So that's coming in almost all the software that we have today. And then there's also the business aspect of it, where we have to now make sure that the enterprise or whoever our customers are, they understand what the capabilities or the limitations of AI might be, and how we can best transform these ideas into the solutions that the market needs. So those are the two areas that I think need attention. That's the place where I'm paying attention, is how best to bring in these new tools that we have at our disposal, this new technology that we have at our disposal, to improve the way we build our products, improve the quality and the features that we ship, and obviously the value that they bring to our customers, and also make our customers aware of what these things can do for them now. And both of them are both these problems are very interesting and are a lot of value to us in this day and age. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to double down on what my co-panelists here said. Right, AI is in cybersecurity is not new. It has been around for a very long time, and there have been a lot of advances that have been made in things like machine learning, deep learning. What is relatively new is generative AI. In terms of how things are being done differently, I'll use a couple of examples. In particular, I feel that this new wave is truly more of democratizing AI. So for example, I heavily use it. I don't have a traditional AI and ML background, but I use generative AI to, for example, parse out complex AI and ML research papers on arXiv, right? That was not something that I had access to earlier. So I think that is the big shift that has happened, and where everyone is sort of focused on. Of course, to what Ketan said on the business side of things, there are assistants. I'm sure everyone in this space, you're evolving, the way you're working evolving, especially for security practitioners. You can now have the option, we use it heavily within our teams, whether it is go-to-market, sales enablement, all those things. So I think there's definitely that shift, and then it'll be very interesting to see where that goes.
Awesome, thank you guys. And okay, so moving on, are AI-powered cybersecurity products living up to expectations? Can you guys assess the hype around these products?
Yeah, let me take a stab at this. Yes, there is a fair bit of the hype train going around, and eventually I think the market will sort itself out on this. But right now what we're seeing is that there is a definite set of problems that can be solved very, very well using AI. And I mean, they're just extensions of the previous problems that we have been trying to solve. Is this some from as simple as document summarization to these conversational sort of applications, the chats of the world and the chat bots and whatnot. I think there's a fair bit of confidence that even the customers have now shown in those applications, and that's a good thing, and that's coming from a pretty large sample size of customers now who've been using the likes of Perplexity and ChatGPT and whatnot for a while now. So we know it's there. On the enterprise side, though, I think there is a lot of ground to be covered in terms of the effectiveness. The margins there are very thin in terms of how accurate the products or these AI results need to be. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of hallucinations and the precise nature of the answers that might be required. But I think again there's enough research and there's enough work going on all over the place in the foundational models, in the next generation derivatives of those models that give me enough confidence that we will eventually get there again. And the other side again, like I mentioned before, is are the enterprises really ready? And again, those questions need to be addressed through real world products, real world solutions that have to prove themselves in solving the bigger problems in the enterprise using AI. And I think we'll just wait for the story to unravel itself as we go along.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Ketan. Like I've seen this, having had a front row seat to seeing how the technology has evolved over the last 2 years. Initially, there was a lot of expectation, a lot of hype around the technology. Everyone expected Gen AI to solve the problems magically. Then there was sort of a lot of disappointment because people realized that it's not that easy to get these technologies to work for all possible use cases. But now you are seeing people applying Gen AI to specific use cases where they excel, like accessing data and getting insights from documentation or information which is available out there. Also, I think one thing that gives me a lot of hope in how this will evolve and how Gen AI will be used in cybersecurity is what Prutha mentioned in the previous question. Like AI is getting democratized. Previously, AI was like sort of the domain of data scientists. Data scientists would work in a silo. They did not have, many of the data scientists didn't have security context, so they would have to pair up with security folks. Now you have a lot of security folks starting to use AI, experimenting with it, and thinking about how AI can be used to solve their problems. So I think this is a very positive development. And also Gen AI makes it very easy to experiment with stuff. So previously, data scientists would spend a lot of time getting access to data was a big problem. They would have to set up the experiments, do the experiments, and then try to convince the exec sponsors about the validity of the results and why it was important to build those kind of product features. Now there is a lot of backing from the execs themselves because of all the sort of popularity that Gen AI has received over the last couple of years. There is a lot of backing from execs, and also it's much easier to prototype and build, and a lot of new frameworks are there which make it very easy for non-data scientists also to build Gen AI applications.
Yeah, totally. I will add that in addition to what you both said, to really tap on to harness and realize gains, what is also going to be important is access to the right data and then training models on that right data sets. Because that will be the differentiator, because you'll be focusing on a specific use case, right? So if it is a cybersecurity product meant to solve XYZ, data around that has to be, you have to have models that are training based on that data, and then evolve based on that. But we definitely see the transformative potential here.
And very good point about the data part. And I think one of the things that we are seeing now in enterprises, especially because a lot of the data has been generated or built for the systems for these collecting this data has been built for or pre-Gen AI sort of world. Now people are realizing the importance of how important it is to have clean data and have it all properly stored in a place where it is accessible for the AI tools. So a lot of changes are happening in that area as well. And I think progressively this will result in better products being built using AI.
So now that we've seen and talked about the growth of AI in many sectors, what ethical concerns do you have about this growth in AI, like bias in algorithms, privacy issues?
Yeah, I can take that. So I think it's definitely going to be very imperative that the technology, as we advance through technological advances, we are using representative and diverse data sets. The algorithms are transparent, they're explainable. So especially if you're using Gen AI tools and technology, is that tool providing citations? Do you know where the answers are coming from, right? Tying it back to the reasoning, where it is deriving a certain answer to a certain question. I think that's going to be important. So the entire data cycle from development to use of AI systems should be done such that it helps promote trust and confidence in the technology. And that brings me to talk a little bit about data privacy. I think it's very, very important, especially for enterprises and enterprises in the regulated space. So if you are a security practitioner, you want to consider solutions that offer private deployments where the models are in your own environment. That way you have control over your data. You could secure that data, right? If you are someone who's building these AI systems, which at this point is everyone, you want to be, embed privacy right from the design process, and then offer individuals as well as your customers the option to have control of their data, right? Whether it is zero data retention or opting out of storing individual data. So build those within your applications to give folks more control.
Yeah, excellent points. And I think this is a very good question, which highlights the difference between what Gen AI has brought to the forefront, right? Prior to Gen AI, data scientists would build their systems, ML systems, which would be running in the background, but most consumers wouldn't even know that they are running there. They wouldn't be concerned about it. Now you have a lot of concern around how AI is being used. So even while building enterprise solutions, I am seeing this every day, that when we are talking to our customers, more than the features that we are building, they are concerned about how their data is getting used, how the models are behaving, whether they are giving biased answers, right? So for me personally, one of the things that is going to be really critical in this space for AI to develop and enterprises to adopt AI solutions is going to be who's responsible for the outcomes that AI is providing, right? Like especially in security. For example, in terms of remediations, a lot of people are starting to experiment with using Gen AI for remediation or for protective measures, right? So if Gen AI acts on behalf, and as this agentic AI starts becoming more and more popular, if the agents are taking action on your behalf, who's responsible? Is it the user? Is it the AI? Is it the company which is building the application? Is it the company which is building models like Cohere? Who's responsible for that, right? I think these are kind of important questions that we will have to resolve over the coming years for really the enterprise adoption to pick up.
Yeah, I agree. This is a very important and a very big question. The ethics behind AI as we go along has been for some time. I think we've been grappling it in different areas of technology in a completely different domain. But for example, in the area of genetics, we've now seen, ironically or unironically, Gen AI has been able to solve one of the foundational problems of protein folding, and that is now giving researchers a lot of hope in solving very complex genetic questions that we've had, and so that's, in my opinion, is also going to be like a dual use kind of a situation where it can be obviously put to very good use, but the sort of the unfettered use of that level of technology can go in a completely dark side for us. So yes, we are aware of all the good and bad, and again, these are at the end of the day, as somebody has famously called them out, and I love that term. These are all stochastic parrots. These models. So so the it's garbage in, garbage out at the end of the day. So if you have a lot of bad data that you've used in training them, then obviously there's going to be bad results coming out of it. And then who's the decision maker to figure out what data is good and bad? So again, I believe the market forces will eventually come into play here, and the democratization will eventually land us in a place where we have these sort of mutually agreed sort of rules around what the governance of these models, the data that is used to train them has to be. And like I said, I'm hopeful of the future, but right now this is a big question which sort of has to unravel itself to us.
One of the things that you mentioned, Ketan, that's very interesting is about how AI is being used, dual use of AI, right? And this is very fascinating because as we are trying to figure out how to use AI for securing our systems, bad guys are also trying to use AI to attack these systems. So it's going to be an interesting play. This is a good time for cybersecurity professionals because they can use the Gen AI tools to build out protection mechanisms, but also it's going to be a race against attackers who are going to be using them for lowering the bar to attack systems. Right?
Yeah, and to the point of, the conversation that we are having, this is an area that is rife with opportunities right now. In terms of how do we secure our future, or how do we, have these opportunities? There's a lot of work that needs to be done in this space. In order at various levels, at the government level, at the individual organizations that are building these models, there's plenty of opportunities, not just for technical expertise, but also for this sort of governance and control of these models.
Yeah.
All right, so transitioning from ethics, what skills should cybersecurity professionals focus on to stay relevant? Do you have any technical or any soft skills that you would recommend?
So I can start with one thing, like everyone is focusing on the AI technology itself, right? Like people are thinking about prompt engineering, zero shot, few shot, using fine tuning or using retrieval, augmented generation, agentic AI. But one thing which, coming back to what Ketan was mentioning and to the previous question, right? Like it's very important that now we start, security professionals or people working on the AI stuff have to learn not just the technology, but also other stuff. So for me personally, over the last couple of years, have had to interact with a lot of InfoSec, legal teams within our organization, which in the past was very limited. We, as a data scientist in a product organization, we didn't have to interact as much with the legal or understand the consequences. Now it was a separate team which would handle it. Now, because AI is so new to everyone, for all these functional teams as well, for legal, for InfoSec, we have to collaborate, work, understand what their challenges are and try to explain what we are trying to do and work together to come up with sort of explanation of what we are doing so that we can put our customers' minds at ease because they are worried about how AI is getting used within the products, right? So,
Yeah. So I totally agree to that. I will say that in terms of skills, nothing better than using the technology on a regular basis. It sort of helps you build perspectives, whether you're trying to secure it, whether you're trying to exploit it, or whether you're just getting started and you want to learn it. I think that's number one, right? The more that you use it, the more that you will understand on the various aspects of how it interacts, what are the various things. I do believe that having a good foundation, especially for even if you're not building models, that does help. Cohere does have a LLM university that's freely available. I'm sure there are plenty of other resources, but it helped me quite a bit. And then even there are so many newsletters, podcasts. This stuff is moving so fast that it's very, very difficult for anyone to keep up, right? So I think, I use, right, TLDRs of like all the TLDR summaries that I've signed up with, right? So, and then that's something that you could do as you're trying to do that. Have a list of, right, things that you want to do. Plenty of, I think, Applied Gen AI in security is a great newsletter. There's TLDR AI. I'm sure a lot of people have used it. And then plenty of podcasts. Our friends here also had some this morning, but stay up to date, and that helps you quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's nothing scary about adopting these new technology. I'm sure many of us are already doing that. All our Zoom meetings are now, have these note takers and whatnot, joining in and taking notes. And they're varying degrees of, good and bad there. And they're getting better over time. And that'll be a regular, like a feature that we take for granted eventually. So there's lots of things that we can easily adapt on a day-to-day basis to get yourself acquainted with what's going on. And like Prutha mentioned, this space is moving really, really fast. So it's important for us to at least keep up with it to a certain level. And again, at the beginning of the conversation, Jay mentioned the transition from the sort of the horse-drawn carriage mode of transportation to the automotive that happened at the beginning of the 20th century, and we probably will not. We will not have the full perspective on it, but I think we can imagine how that would have been. There were a lot of changes happening in the society at that time as cars became more and more common. A lot of older jobs, going away, and newer technology, newer jobs coming into play. I'm sure there was a time when there was a lot of work in just cleaning up the streets, which had horses, horse-drawn carriages going on them up and down, but those just went away one day, right? There was no horses on the streets anymore, so there was no reason to clean them in that sense. So that's the kind of the transition that we're going in. It's happening at different levels. It's not just the low end, but also the higher end in terms of the analytical capabilities of AI, the thinking and reasoning capabilities of AI. Those are like phenomenal in some ways if you start looking at them. But then again, they are very specific to enterprises. The enterprises are going to take their time to decide. And we as participants in this space also have the time to sort of sample all of these innovations as they come along, and we should, and that will give us, and that will sort of prepare us for what might be coming in our future. I think it's a brave new world, but I think it's going to be exciting.
I would just like to add one thing. Like both of you stressed on the part that there is so much innovation happening in this space every day, right? Like it can be daunting at times to know what to focus on. So I think the key takeaway, like Prutha mentioned also, that it's just to get started, right? Like pick a problem, pick certain technology, pick a framework, and start playing around with it. As you get more and more familiar with that, you don't have to learn everything that is happening, but just start with the problem that you have and start playing around and seeing how you can apply AI to that particular problem, and then you can expand to the other technologies.
Awesome. So lastly, how do you strike a balance between AI automation and human judgment? And what is the best way to make sure humans still have control over critical security decisions?
Yeah, I can start. I will say that the balance here is really using AI to augment workflows, right? So you're using AI for speed, for scale, right? Think of it as a partner collaborator for things where it will be a force multiplier for routine tasks, and then have a human in the loop for decision making, and then no matter if you could take away one thing from this entire talk, I think it's It's that real-world problems and challenges are using AI to enhance capabilities, right? Not replace. So whoever, right, we're building these systems, it's important that the human-in-the-loop design for validation, verification is present. I think that's how it's going to help us harness the true potential.
Yeah. So again, I don't think it's that scary a scenario. I'm not looking for. I'm not expecting like a doomsday kind of a picture here where AI might eventually, sort of take over. There's a lot of conversations going on around that, but I mean, we are at the cutting edge of some of these technologies. We are using them to build better products. So we are very closely working with some of the very cutting edge foundational models and augmenting them and using them for very specific use cases. I think they really work well for like I said, specific tasks right now. And we've seen them struggle at very ordinary things. There was and I've tried this myself. There was a meme going on some time ago where some of even the top chat portals couldn't count the number of R's in Strawberry, for example. I don't know how many of you have seen that, but I saw that myself and I was like surprised a little bit. But then it was not to just rate the technical abilities. There's a lot that goes behind counting the words, the letters in a word, if you look at it. And to have an LLM be able to do that is a different question altogether. So regardless of the mechanics of the techniques behind it, I think there are certain gaps, there are certain reasoning gaps that are going to be solved piecemeal as we go along. So and I don't know, who knows, maybe we might reach that that singularity in terms of the AI becoming AGI or whatever. I won't hold my breath for that. So I think we are safe. I think we are okay to sort of go with the really specific use cases, solving them really well for the customers and generally the world. And AlphaFold and all these things have opened up a new frontier for us. So those applications are really going to be useful going forward. And I hope that we continue down this path and better ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That I think the challenge right now, the biggest challenge for AI in enterprises is going from demoware to actual production systems and having the promise of fully autonomous systems, right? And like Prutha also mentioned that you expect right now you want to have the human in the loop helping out with the decision making. AI is also doing a lot of the decision making, but humans eventually have to supervise the output from the AI. I think the key litmus test for AI, especially in security, would be whether these systems, how well they develop in terms of taking the humans' supervision, decision making, and incorporating that back into the AI systems to make them better. As the AI systems start incorporating that, whether it's at the model level or whether it's at the application level, right? As these systems get better at doing that, then the amount of workload that human beings have to do will progressively start getting smaller and smaller.
Great. I think now's a good time to transition over to audience questions. One advantage of Gen AI is its ability to handle unstructured data. How does this enhance our offerings in cybersecurity?
Yeah, so I can answer this. Especially a lot of the security products when we were building, we would stick to structured data sources because it was just easier to query them, easier to get information from that. I think with Gen AI's ability to handle unstructured data, it opens up a world of possibilities for security products. There are so many things with Gen AI. You could download all the information about threat intel, about vulnerability, and use Gen AI's abilities to sort of query for things there. Or you can use that to even generate policies or extract information. When you have alerts or other things, security products previously would just generate the alerts without giving any much explanation about why or what is happening. Now with Gen AI's capabilities to handle unstructured data, all of these can be combined with the alerts, and you can have much richer context that is provided to the security professionals. So I think definitely the Gen AI's ability to handle unstructured data will continue to improve the security products and make it easier for cyber professionals to use these products.
Yeah, and we have been, we've been dealing with structured data for all our lifetimes essentially, and there's still a lot of that in our systems. But there's this vast untapped resource of this unstructured data that now we're seeing. I mean, Google search used to be the one that used to provide access to it in, again, a structured way. I think what LLMs have opened up is, they've brought all this unstructured data, the whole World Wide Web, essentially of information to us in a conversational kind of a unstructured manner. So that is a definite plus for us, has been a definite plus for us. What it also eventually will do is open up the unstructured content that exists beyond, I mean, in the sort of the deep web, behind customer firewalls, and the intelligence that exists there, or the insights that can be extracted out of those. There's a lot there, right? I mean, think of all the conversations that happen within a productive team on a daily basis, and that's all unstructured. That's all completely sort of and there might be engineering, there might be business decisions, all of those. That's valuable. That can be drawn upon as a source to sort of make decisions for an enterprise. So that still remains to be captured, and it will, I think, eventually be. And those are the ones. Those are the unstructured pieces of information that are going to drive decisions for the enterprise in the future.
Great. So, Alok, at Palo Alto, are we seeing more use of AI tooling or insights from your team being consumed by Unit 42 team?
So not particularly just from my team, but in general, AI is being adopted across different functional units within Palo Alto Networks, whether it's Unit 42 or it's marketing, HR. But specifically for Unit 42 and other teams as well, they are able to generate a lot more insights using Gen AI. So they are building out their own AI capabilities now. As I mentioned, now it's not just product teams which are using Gen AI, but also security researchers, threat researchers. Everyone is using Gen AI to automate the workflows that they have, to get additional information from the World Wide Web, right? So it's being used extensively within Palo Alto Networks.
Awesome. So, in your opinion, how will the AI revolution transform security jobs? Please provide examples if possible.
So I'll use a couple of examples that our teams are currently, using models. For example, right, secure code reviews. We have embedded use of models into performing security code reviews, right? So it acts as sort of, right, a precursor. And then provides guidance. And then there's like verification, and then you could extend it further to deploy. There is another use case that we've seen a lot of operational efficiency gains is, for example, I think due diligence questionnaires is something that a lot of almost all InfoSec teams have to go through, right? So if you have knowledge bases with all the information, it's fairly simple to sort of, right, hook it up to write assistance and then transform that in the way you respond to it. So I think those are the two that we are actually using quite a bit, and there's plenty of others as well. I think game changer for SOC, especially around unstructured data. you will have access to all this data, and then hooking it up to the right systems, and then getting that information could be a game changer.
Yeah, I think GenAI has applications for lot of different areas within security, right? Like even for say SOC, just like you mentioned for SOC, for posture management, analogous to detection engineering for writing policy rules. A lot of this GenAI technology can be used for generating policies for different areas, whether it is your CSPM or KSPM, ASPM, right? Like, so I think GenAI has the capability to transform the workflow of whatever people are doing, not just within the product, but also their day-to-day activities like scaling policy generation or scaling detection rules, those kind of things.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. The scale is the key word here. These things take time. I mean, take remediations, for example, right? I mean, this is one area where I mean, there's plenty of solutions that can point to issues within your security posture and your vulnerabilities and whatnot. But can you provide me the actual steps to fix that? And that's where the delays start to come in. Then there is I have to come up with the script and I have to deploy this across my cloud or my data center. I mean, how badly do I want to do this? The prioritization behind it. So all of that can be made pretty simple. Now, we touched upon an earlier question of where's the human oversight into this, and frankly, I don't have a good answer for that. Right? I mean, where does that stop? I'd like it to be as automated as possible. If I ask a bunch of our customers, the CISOs and the CIOs, they will say the same thing, but they also want to be cautious about the implications of that, right? So, what if you just push a bad patch and you just hose the whole enterprise network? So those are real problems. I was reading about something where hallucinations are causing models to give out bad dependencies as fixes, and then attackers are piggybacking on those to sort of inject actual malware into our application. So that's a real thing that is happening today. So I would say use with caution is kind of the key suggestion here. But I see again eventually these problems getting solved piece by piece. Unstructured data, we talked about that. There's a lot that we can do in terms of automating these workflows, which questionnaires that Prutha talked about, assessing vendor security posture. So we can really expand the envelope in terms of the security using AI and scale. So that's where I see a lot of these applications in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Let's give these panelists a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, great job today. Thank you for doing this. Folks, what do you think? Was that pretty good? I agree, yes. So quick reminder, we still have coffee upstairs until 4 p.m. And there's also going to be drinks, if you haven't already, up at the Chill Bar. These are all upstairs above us here in the, oh my gosh, I forgot the name. Garden View? Metron View? City View. Thank you, folks. Appreciate that. Also, did not know that. Did you folks know that there is a prayer and mother's rooms tucked away here on site? Good, because I didn't either, so that's good. Please go upstairs to the info desk. They're going to give you directions to where those facilities are on site here. And again, I keep reminding every show here, we've got headshots. It's really easy. Just I don't have to worry about my hair, but just fix your hair, get the shirt the way you want it. I am, for 1 year now, I've been using my headshot from last year. This year, sponsored by Opal Security. Let's give them a shout out and thanks. And also, again, to our entire panel, we got some gifts for you. Again, care of our sponsors. Thank you, folks, very much. Appreciate it. And thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody.